CAPEX invested in any given year is for the future business opportunities. So as long as there are future business opportunities, we will not hesitate to invest. Now, having said that, we are mindful about the macro uncertainties these days, primarily related to the tariff policies. So we are being prudent in planning our CAPEX. Well, actually in business plan, including the CAPEX and capacity planning.
We can get to the tariff risk in a few moments, but I do want to talk about what we've sort of seen over the past few quarters, because in the last 2 quarters, if you average that year on year, you're looking at around a 95% increase. Is that sort of spending sustainable, do you think?
I think, again, it's a company of our size. It will be unlikely for the CAPEX dollar to suddenly drop significantly in any given year. And also, going back to my previous comment, as long as there are business opportunities in the future, we will not hesitate to invest.
You talked about the macro uncertainties, and I think what was also interesting in the numbers is that you've lifted that full-year growth forecast to a 30%, but you've well exceeded that for the first half. You've guided for a strong third quarter. What happens in the fourth quarter?
That's the thing that we were talking about, CC was talking about. We are mindful about the macro uncertainties, and therefore we try to be a little bit conservative.
I mean, a little or a lot conservative, maybe is the question.
But also, CC also said yesterday that if there's really business opportunities, we'll be able to capture that.
Our Bloomberg intelligence team, for instance, says that based on the metrics, and I think there was a lot of people doing calculations yesterday, but you would be looking maybe for a 10% decline sequentially in sales in the fourth quarter. Do you see that happening?
Well, as I said, it's the current forecast with a little bit conservative estimate.
And so what level of tariffs are you factoring into your calculations?
Basically, tariffs will not directly impact us, but it will impact the end markets. So if the end markets demand drops, and ultimately it will affect us. We do have certain assumptions in there, which I think everybody has its own assumptions on how much impact there may be.
And what are your assumptions?
I would prefer not to disclose that.
What I do want to ask about, though, because you're saying that you're not really impacted by tariffs because you're an exporter, not an importer. Is that right?
Yes.
Where you are an importer, though, and where you're going to continue being an importer is in the US market.
Yeah.
So what is the tariff impact to you there as you scale up?
There is possible import tariffs. You are right. On importing, for example, tools or other materials in the U.S. But yes, we do have certain assumptions, and therefore we are, as I said, we're trying to be a bit conservative here.
And what are the biggest risks for Taiwanese companies to also set up operations in the U.S.?
The same problems that we faced before. You have culture difference. Generally, it's more expensive here. All these things, they are facing the same thing.
For suppliers that are considering from Taiwan moving some operations to the US, what sort of assistance can TSMC provide?
We understand the challenges for these suppliers because we've been through it. So we brought these challenges to the attention of the government about permits, application, and things like that, the human resources availability. That's what we can do to urge the government try to solve this issue for the suppliers.